All right, welcome back. Um, we're going to continue on with our exercises here. We'll continue on with exercise 2. And this one is really around, in exercise 1, we saw how to expose an HTTP service um, using ABAP. We're going to, in exercise 2, show you how you can consume services via HTTP. And for this exercise, we're going to leverage the SAP API Hub to kind of simulate a call out to an S4 HANA system. Um, so so there will be there will be a couple steps in here where you'll have to go out to the API Hub, and if you don't already have an account, create an account and so forth to test these APIs. But let's go ahead and get started. And the first thing we want to do is create our API Hub manager class, which I like to call. And this is really just a class that is going to be our broker between um, our calling class and the API Hub itself. So we'll go ahead and go to our group package, and under source code library, we'll say create or new, or right click new, and then ABAP class. And then we'll give it a name. We'll call it ZCL API Hub Manager with XXX. Again, replace with a group number, something unique. And we'll give it a meaningful description here. So API Hub Manager class. Next, and finish. So the first thing we need here, we need a constructor and in our public section here. So I'll go ahead and put that code in here. So for our constructor, this is just going to be creating the object, of course, and then we have a method called get bank details, which will return us some JSON as a string here. So this method, this get bank details, is really what's going to make the call out to the API Hub. We need a couple private variables. So let's go ahead and put those in here. So global variable URL on a global object HTTP client. Next, we have to go ahead and implement our constructor. So let's go ahead and do that. So so we'll say method constructor and method, and within our constructor method here, we want to create an instance of the HTTP client handler that we have available to us in the SAP Cloud Platform ABAP environment. So this CL Web HTTP Client Manager and CL excuse me, CL HTTP Destination Provider. These classes are available within Steampunk. This is how we're able to do HTTP within this environment. The other classes you might be used to in an on-prem scenario aren't available here in this environment. So we have to use these. So here I'm just passing in the URL and creating an instance of the HTTP client in my constructor. Okay. So then we have to implement our get bank details method. So get bank details and method. Before we do that, let's go ahead and go out to the API Hub. Go out to the API Hub here, and with this URL, this API bank detail service / resource. This is the example that we'll use here for our exercise. You can use others, but this is the one we're using here. And what's important here is that I'll go ahead and log on. But what's important here is that the show API key here, that's what's going to allow us to to essentially use this in our class. So I have this API key here that I need to copy, and I'll use this in my code later. So keep that handy, and we'll go back to our exercise, and now we're going to go ahead and copy in the the code into the get bank details method, the meat of this. And you can see here, um, I have my HTTP client object from the constructor, so that's already created for me, or that I already have an instance to that. And I'm just simply saying get HTTP request, and I'm getting that request in my object here. And then from there, I'm setting a few of the header fields, one of which is this API key, right? So um, if you if you have this still open, then go back and get your API key, and then go ahead and fill that in right there, just like that, and that will enable you to make the call. And then we're going to set the URI path. So basically, we're we're extending the URL that we use for this call, and saying, well, we want to do the API bank detail service, and then we'll take the top 25 and return me the result in JSON. And then, of course, we do the execution. We do the execute method, and get the response back into our response object, and then pass that out as JSON. Okay, so this is, I mean, this is our manager class of the API Hub, which in my mind, you can use this to put all of your different calls to the API hub. So you'll get bank details, right? We have a separate method for that, but you can also have another method in here for, I don't know, get invoices, or get purchase orders, or whatever the case may be. But you can have all of this in a self-contained class here, and then use this from your caller, which we'll do here in the next section. So I'll go ahead and save and activate this. Okay. So the next step is exercise 2.2, which is updating our hello world. So let's go to our hello world, and now we're going to expand our case statement here and say when bank details. Let's see here. Let's put it right here. When bank details, when the command is bank details, then we're going to go ahead and make a call to our API Hub Manager class, right? And call the get bank details method. And then, of course, the returning parameter is JSON, and we're going to put that into our response. Okay, let's go ahead and save and activate this. Okay, now let's return to our service definition so that we can go ahead and launch our service. So I'll click URL. And once again, it's asking me for credentials. And I'm expecting the 400 error again. Yep, so there it is. And again, we have to use the URL parameter. Command equals bank details. And there we go. So here our HTTP service is calling out to the API hub and bringing our results back in JSON, and we are presenting that out to the browser. Okay. So if you wanted to challenge yourself a little bit, you could extend this a little bit more and make another call to the API hub for a different object. Implement that into your API hub manager class, and of course then call this from your hello world as well. So that's a challenge. It's a step 5 here in the exercise document to extend just a little bit more if you feel up to it. Also, I talked about the API key here. Number one, please don't use my API key. Make sure you use your own. And number two, if you're doing this on a shared system, after you do the exercise, make sure that you go ahead and get rid of that API key. You don't really want other people using your API key. So yeah, get rid of that out of your source code if you're doing this on a shared system, for example, the trial system. So that's it for exercise 2. Check out exercise 3 when we start talking about the ABAP RESTful application programming model.